All right, for some of us, what happened with Terra Luna recently, about a month ago, is the worst catastrophe we've ever experienced in crypto. I'm not saying it's the worst in crypto history, but personally, it really hurts. And the fact that it's so new, it really stings. But what if I told you there's another crypto exchange, another crypto application that possibly is lining up to do the exact same thing? And this is something a lot of us use. Maybe you've used it. You've definitely heard of this platform before. And I want to show you because, this is not confirmed. This is all speculation, but, take it with a grain of salt, do your own research, but everything involved with UST and the depegging and Terra Luna and the collapse, it was all speculation too until it was true. So we'll look over here. This is an article that just came out a couple of days ago, Dirty Bubble Media, and they say Celsius Network lost at least 35,000 in ETH during this stake-bound key blunder. And what that means is they were actually, so what Celsius does, if you don't know what Celsius is, they are a crypto borrow and lending platform. So they have customers come to them. It's almost like a crypto savings account for those who have never used it. So you can come there with your Bitcoin, you can come there with your ETH, and you can deposit it into a wallet. And they're going to give you a percentage back. 3%, 4%, 5%, just like you would get on a savings account or back when savings account actually paid something. But what they're doing on the back end there is they're taking your Bitcoin and they're taking your ETH and they're lending it to other people and they're taking a greater return. So that's how the company makes money. And that's all good in bull market when everybody wants to come in with their crypto and everybody wants to buy and everybody wants to borrow. Great times for Celsius. But now that we enter this bear market, things change a little bit. So what this article says is Celsius actually lost 35,000 ETH tokens during this key blunder. So what they were doing is they were staking Ether. So a lot of people go with Lido staked Ether, which is STETH or staked ETH. And it's great. You get basically a coin back while you're getting the benefits of staking your Ether. However, what this is saying is they were staking it with this company called Stakehound, and this company Stakehound, we're not really sure exactly what happened, but they essentially lost the keys. And this happened back June 22nd, 2021. And they've kept it a secret this whole time. They were trying to find the keys. They were trying to get a workaround, but they were not communicating this to the customers. This article has just come out about a week ago, a couple days ago on June 2nd. It says here that Stakehound blames their hosting provider, Fireblocks. They're in this whole lawsuit in Israel. Doesn't really matter, right? Because if you're the holder, if you are the person that's losing money, you don't really care the reason, right? You don't, I mean, we all want to know what happened with US Terra, but the fact is you lost $10,000, you lost $100,000, you lost $1 million. That's what it is. That's the end all be all there. So it says here, right here, we have discovered that the Celsius network had sent 35,000 ETH to Stakehound in a single transaction on February 2nd, 2021. That goes on to say here, we believe Celsius sent additional Ether through Stakehound as Celsius wallets currently hold at least 42,300 of this Stakehound stake ETH, which is essentially worthless because they've lost the private key. So they are holding all of this ETH, claiming that's, I guess, what you would be getting if you cash out with them, but this is completely worthless. They go on to show these transactions right here. Also goes on to say at today's ETH prices, which is right now just roughly under $1,800, that's a $71 million loss. So go check out Dirty Bubble. That's where I'm pulling this information. But then this article over here takes it a little bit further, right? Goes on to mention, right, they're covering, you can't do that, right? We all love crypto. We all love distributed ledger technology because it's transparent and it's clear. But when you operate like a shady hedge fund with no regulations, that's not fun for the customer, right? So leading platform Celsius conceals their $35,000 ETH loss. That's on the low end. But then it also says here, this is very interesting. It says, according to the analysis of a Twitter user, right? Like, look, Twitter's great. You got to take everything with a grain of salt. What I'm going to show you, go back and verify it, but this is actual legit transactions that did happen. So this is the Twitter account right here, Yield Chad, 1,600 followers right here. And he's been talking about this not only for Celsius, but also for Swissborg. So here's what he goes on to say. From a technical point of view, Celsius may, and I emphasize may, I don't want the people at Celsius to come back and accuse me of saying that they are insolvent. May, we're going to look at some information that says they may be insolvent here. So look, the project has a total of 1 million ETH. but only 268,000 of them have full liquidity, meaning that 445,000 of them are this staked ether, Lido staked ether. And at current time, that can only be exchanged. So you would go to Curve, right, to do this exchange. So on Curve, that can only be exchanged for 287,000 ETH. So that 445 can only be exchanged for 287,000. That's a big difference, right? And that has to do with the current exchange rate on Curve, and that could change at any time. But generally speaking, in these times of bear market, these exchange rates on your staked assets are not doing as well as they would in a bull market. That's nothing new there, right? Then it goes on to say there's still 288,000 coins left of that million, and those are all pledged to the ETH 2.0 contract, which is good, right? So they're obviously an ETH 2.0 validator, and the merge is coming, they're doing rehearsal runs this week. It's seemingly coming in the next couple of days. So that is good. However, that's not withdrawable. So that 288,000 on that ETH 2.0 can't touch that. So that means they really only have this top amount right here, this 268,000 that's fully backed up. And you can see right here, snapshot of Curve, so you can see that exchange rate of the staked ETH to the real Ether. So look, it's interesting times. If you go on to read this, it says not only are they having the problems of possible insolvency, but now they're borrowing USDT and USDC allegedly to pay out weekly withdrawals. So look, people come to Celsius, and look, when times are bad, obviously, right? That's why the price goes down. People are selling their assets and cashing out. They're doing that at Celsius as well. So they're having to borrow money to keep up with these returns or keep up with these withdrawals. And that's never a good thing. So if you look back up here, it says at a rate of 50,000 ETH per week. And that's, they're actually doing a little bit more than that as far as withdrawals right now in this current week-to-week scenario. Celsius would run out of liquidity in 5 weeks. Now, is that going to happen? Probably not, right? But they also, if you look over here, this article from about a week ago, crypto lender Celsius stung by sell-off in digital asset market. Everybody is, right? And they're no different. They also had some exposure in the US Terra as well. Allegedly, if you look over here at this article, Celsius pulled out $500 million out of Anchor as Terra was in the collapse. Just because you pulled it out of Anchor doesn't mean you got all your money back, right? You still had to then exchange your UST for another stable asset. So they may have lost a little bit in there. And what we've seen from Celsius, right? They're not going to be at the front of the line telling you bad things that are happening, right? They're not going to come out and say, oh, we lost this. They're basically just going to tell you we pulled out all our money and everything's good. And Alex Mashinsky is going to come out and say on Twitter and on his podcast, everything's good. We haven't lost any money and everybody's telling you the wrong thing. Well, smoke, smoke, smoke. I tend to think you're going to find a fire at some point. So am I telling you to go out and cash out everything from Celsius? No, I'm not. But I am telling you to go do some research on this because, hey, we can't have what happened to Terra Luna happen to us again. So we have to be more cautious than optimistic. You can't give people the benefit of the doubt anymore. There's going to be more Terra Lunas. There's going to be a lot more Terra Lunas. There's going to be more and more. There's going to be more Lunas than there are Bitcoins and Ethereums, right? There's going to be more bad than good in any industry. And now at the beginning stages of this, you have to really keep your guard up. We all made a mistake. We all can learn from our mistakes, and we should. So I'm not saying Celsius is bad, but I am saying do your own research and check them out. And until the next time, be safe.